Did you hear about Betty? An honest talk about falls and aging from one friend to another. Did you hear about Betty? Betty? You mean the one who always brought cookies to church socials? Yeah, her. She took a fall a few months ago and she's gone now. No. Martha sat quietly at the kitchen table, her hands wrapped around a warm mug of chamomile tea, her brow furrowed in disbelief. Was it the doctors? Didn't they do all they could? George, her neighbor from across the street, slowly shook his head and let out a sigh. They did what they could, Martha. But the truth is, when someone our age falls and breaks a bone, especially a hip, it's not as simple as folks think. He leaned back a little, looked out the window, and added, You'd be surprised how many stories I've heard. People take a spill. Nothing seems too serious. But then a few months later, they're gone. Quietly. It's scary. And real. Martha's eyes misted over. You really think a fall can do all that? George nodded, now leaning forward, elbows on the table. Let me tell you about my neighbor, Mrs. Thompson. Lives, or rather, lived, just down the block. She was 76, strong-willed, sharp as a tack. Retired from the post office, but still helped out around the community center. The kind of woman who could fix a lamp, hem your pants, and bake banana bread all before lunch. Sounds like a gem, Martha said softly. She was, George agreed. Anyway, just before Christmas last year, December 23rd, I think, she was up early making breakfast for her grandson. Carrot rolls, his favorite. She was rushing around her kitchen, wearing those old fuzzy slippers she always wore. The floor was a bit wet from rinsing vegetables. She slipped, fell hard onto the tile. That loud thud, folks upstairs and down heard it. She was on the floor, couldn't move her leg. Said she was fine, but she wasn't. The ambulance came quick. Turned out it was a severe fracture. Her left hip was shattered. Doctors said, for someone younger, it might be 3 months of recovery. But for someone her age, could be years, could be never. Martha swallowed hard. She went into surgery? She did. Got a plate and screws put in. Stayed in the hospital for 10 days. Her family did everything right, got her anti-slip shoes, gave her soups and stews, even hired a nurse part-time. But she got depressed. Real low. Said things like, maybe I'll never walk again, and you all go live your lives, don't worry about me. George paused for a sip of his coffee. A couple of weeks in, she started coughing. They thought it was the dry air, got a humidifier and all. But it got worse. She ran a mild fever, 100.4 Fahrenheit. Back to the hospital. X-rays showed a lung infection. Doctors said it was aspiration pneumonia. Oh no, Martha whispered. Yeah, George said. She wasn't moving much, wasn't eating right either. Her body couldn't fight back. She was back in the hospital for almost a month. IVs, antibiotics, all of it. The pneumonia got a little better, but she was never the same. Weak. Couldn't sit up on her own. George looked out the window again. 92 days after the fall, she passed. Quietly, in the early morning, told her grandson the night before to be good this new year and promised him some more carrot rolls. But they never came. Martha gently set her cup down. That's heartbreaking. George nodded slowly. And she's not the only one, Martha. We've got to take these falls seriously. It's not just a bruise or a break. It's what comes after. He leaned in again. See, when we're young, we fall and bounce back. When we're older, everything slows down. Bones are more fragile, like dry twigs. That's why they call hip fractures the last fracture of life. Some call it a turning point. Others a goodbye. Martha wiped the corner of her eye. But why is it so dangerous? Well, George said there are 3 big risks most folks don't talk about. 1. Fragile bones, the hidden threat. Our bones age just like we do. After 65, especially in women, bone density decreases. Falls result in fractures much more easily, and hips are the worst of them all. The hip is central to our mobility. Once that's gone, many folks never get out of bed again. Lying in bed too long causes everything to slow down. Blood flow, digestion, muscle strength, even mood. Other common breaks include the spine and wrist. Spinal fractures can be silent at first, but lead to hunched backs and even compression on internal organs. Wrist fractures affect daily activities like buttoning a shirt or brushing your teeth. And here's something sneaky, occult fractures. Tiny cracks that don't show up right away. Folks think they're okay, but over time, those small breaks widen and turn into full fractures. 2. Head injuries, the quiet killers. When we fall and hit our heads, even if there's no visible injury, there could be bleeding inside the skull. The elderly brain is like an old sponge, less cushioned, more vulnerable. Some bleeds take days to show symptoms: headaches, confusion, sleepiness. Often it's too late by then. One particularly scary condition is chronic subdural hematoma, a slow bleed that builds pressure in the brain over weeks. Many mistake the symptoms for dementia. 3. Soft tissue damage, the invisible pain. No fracture, no blood? Doesn't mean you're safe. Muscle tears, ligament sprains, they hurt and cause us to avoid moving. That leads to muscle loss, poor posture, and eventually another fall. And chronic pain wears on us mentally and physically. We eat less, sleep poorly, and spiral into weakness. The real danger, lying still. In the end, George said what got Mrs. Thompson wasn't the fall. It was what the fall started. Being bettered and led to infections, blood clots, depression. Her body just rusted out. Like an old car left in the garage too long, Martha added. He nodded. Exactly. So what can we do? George looked Martha straight in the eye. We need to talk about this. Share it. Take action while we still can. Stay active every day. Even a walk around the house helps. Use proper footwear. No more slippery socks or loose slippers. Add grab bars and non-slip mats where needed. And above all, don't ignore a fall. Ever. Let's make a pact, George said, standing up, to look after ourselves and each other. Martha smiled. And share this with our friends. It could save a life. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and share it with someone you love. Let's keep each other safe. Subscribe now and join our growing circle of wise elders who are embracing life on their own terms. Let's walk this meaningful path, not alone, but together. You deserve inspiration that speaks your language. Let this be your cozy corner on the internet.